Okay? We translate it as thing. But, you know, the Arabic is rich. English is kind of poor, man, really. So, shay here, he says, أنها تشمل الوجود والمعدوم. That shay, this particular expression, actually refers to that which exists and that which does not exist. Okay? والأعيان والأوصاف والمنافع والأفعال والمعاملات والعادات والعالم وغير العالم والعاقل وغير العاقل كل الأشياء الأصل فيها الحل. He says this particular expression refers to anything with substance, any quality, any benefit, any act, any transaction, any custom, a scholar, a non-scholar, a person who's intelligent, a person who's not intelligent, all things. The principle in respect to it is permissibility. That's everything. Okay? So we are starting off everything I asked you about, right? We're going to see that the principle in respect to it, it's halal unless you find some text to prove otherwise. So if someone comes and he says, man, look, it's haram, you're going to say, well, I'm going to quote him ABC from the hadith, from the Quran and from the Sunnah. Okay? And then we're going to have to deal with that. The Shaykh, he says, in his expression, his explanation of this principle, he says, those things, anything, any essence, substance, al-aslu fi al-hil. The principle is permissibility. He says if two people differ concerning something in existence, whether it's an animal, a tree, or something, man, could you eat that fruit? And we said a few animals, right? All right? Now, before, I don't know what's going to happen, but let me tell you, some of those animals I mentioned, they're not halal. I just mentioned them so that, you know, to put the question out there. And not to say that it's halal. I don't want nobody walk out here and say, Brother Fareed said you could eat a monkey, right? Or anything like that. That was just to put the question out there. And now we're going to deal with whether what is not and what is, inshallah. Okay? But we want to establish the principle. If people differ in this way, is this thing halal, this animal, this tree, could you eat it? No. The Shaykh says, هل أكله حلال أو حرام? Whether you can eat it, it's halal or haram. He says, فالأصل الحل. The principle is that it's halal. فيأكله. So he eats it. ما لم يتيقن أنه منهي عنه. As long as he is not certain that it's prohibited. Okay? أو يقام الدليل على تحريمه. Or there has been a dalil or evidence that it's haram. والمنافع, the things that are of benefit. The principle in respect to those things is permissibility. Yani that it is permissible for you to benefit from anything out there in any way that you want to benefit until there is some evidence to prove otherwise. Okay? He says, وَلَوْ قَالَ قَائِلٌ أنا أريد أن أركب البقرة أو أسافر عليها. Someone says, I want to ride a cow. Nobody rides no cow, man. Right? Or travel on a cow. The Shaykh says, لقلنا الأصل الحل. The principle is permissibility. I mean, nobody really, you don't find nobody trying to travel on no cow. But if a person comes and he asks a question, what do we have as a principle to help him in terms of determining what is right and wrong? The principle is here. It's permissible unless there's some text to say otherwise. Okay? He says, مع أن البقرة معد للحرث والنسل والدر. Even though we know normally the cow is prepared for basically for, the fields, for his offsprings, and for the milk that he provides. That's what you use the cow for. I mean, really, I don't know if anybody use cows for traveling. All right? The Shaykh says, however, the principle the principle, the evidence that the principle in respect to all these things and the benefits that we derive from them is permissibility is Allah's statement, هُوَ الَّذِي خَلَقَ لَكُم مَا فِي الْأَرْضِ جَمِيعًا. That He it is who has created for you. This part of the ayah, others of the Ahlul Ilm dealt with, lakum, for you. What is meant for you? For you to utilize, to benefit. For yourselves. How are you going to utilize and benefit and take benefit from something if the principle in respect to it is haram? That goes against the ayah. The Shaykh says, not only do we have that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioning this benefit, فَعَمَّ مُؤَكَّدْ, He generalized and emphasizes subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay? مَا فِي الْأَرْضِ. Ma, yani ma in the Arabic, whatsoever is in the earth. That's everything. That leaves out nothing in the earth. Okay, ma fil ard. Says ma ismun mawsulun tufidu al-umum thumma akkada hadha al-umum biqawlihi jami'an. Biqawlihi jami'an. This particular expression shows generalness. To show and to emphasize this, Allah says jami'an, all of it. So there'll be no doubt, man, that look, maybe some of it is haram. The principle then is permissibility unless there is some text to prove otherwise. The Shaykh says al-a'mal, actions. Al-aslu fi kulli amalin. The principle in respect to every action other than worship, okay, is permissibility. We're going to come, when it comes to worship, you don't come and do your own thing and no ibadah, okay? You don't come and start twirling around in the masjid talking about I'm going to be ecstatic and all that, and it's halal. What's the evidence to show that it's haram? In respect to worship, the opposite is true. The principle, and we're going to see that inshallah, the opposite is true. You don't do anything unless there is some text. All right? And the Shaykh says, in respect to our actions, we have this statement of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, وَقَدْ فَصَّلَ لَكُمْ مَا حَرَّمَ عَلَيْكُمْ إِلَّا مَا تُرِدْتُمْ إِلَيْهِ. He has made clear to you what is forbidden to you except what you're driven out of necessity to do. That, inshallah, we will see in our next sitting, because it's time for the salah, inshallah. Subhanak Allahumma wa bihamdik, ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Inshallah, hopefully we'll be able to go and deal extensively with this one, inshallah. Barakallahu feekum.